Hello everyone, I am Jimmy A. Pamat and I will going to discuss about the English Renaissance or Elizabethan period literature. So in this period, we were going to tackle about the different types of literary works as well as the famous writers. And we were going to discuss about as well the etymology and the fundamental development of Elizabethan period. So Elizabethan period 1579-1603 began during the reign of Elizabeth I, a time of national growth, confidence, and prosperity in England, and marked by a great explosion of creativity in English literature. So, the Elizabethan period began in 1558 when Elizabeth I became the Queen of England. So before her rule, the country had many religious and political problems. When she became queen, she brought peace and stability. Because of this, England became strong in trade and exploration. So, in 1558, England defeated the Spanish Armada. So, when we say Armada, this is a group of ships. No? So, this victory made the people feel proud and confident. Since the country was peaceful and successful, writers had the freedom and inspiration to create. So as a result of this, many great literary works were written in this period. So including the works of William Shakespeare. That is why this period is known as the golden age of English literature. So, historical background. Conflict with Philip II of Spain. Defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1558. Okay, so during the reign of Elizabeth I, England had a very serious conflict with Philip II of Spain. So Spain kasi noon was a powerful Catholic country while England had become a Protestant. Because of the religious differences and also the political rivalry, English attacks on Spanish ships. Philip II wanted to invade England. So in 1588, Spanish sent a large group of Spanish sent a large group of ships. That is what we have discussed earlier. So it is called the Spanish Armada to attack the England. But England defeated the Armada and the Spanish were destroyed by storms. So this victory made England feel proud and strong. It helped increase the confidence in the country during the Elizabethan period. Okay, so we were going to discuss naman the beginning of the literary golden age. So it started with the publication of Shepherd's Calendar by Edmund Spenser in 1579. So officially ended when Elizabeth died in 1603 through drama continued longer. So in 1579, Edmund Spenser published the Shepherd's Calendar. So at that time, England was already a peaceful and stronger country. So writers were becoming more creative and confident. So when Spenser's book was published, people saw it as a sign that English poetry was improving and becoming more beautiful. Because of this, many consider 1579 as the start of the Elizabethan Golden Age of literature. So the period continued while Elizabeth I was still the queen. When she died in 1603, her reign ended. So the Elizabethan period is officially ended too. However, many plays and dramas continued even after her death. Okay, so we're going to discuss the main characteristic of literature during the Elizabethan period. First is we have the great variety. So when we say great variety, writers did not focus on one just type of writing. So they tend to wrote poetry, plays, and prose. Second is it is the spirit of romance. So people love stories about love, bravery, and adventure and imagination. So England was exploring new lands, so adventure stories felt exciting and meaningful. So romance made literature emotional and inspiring. Okay, so the third is we have the dramatic energy. So when we say dramatic energy, so life during Elizabethan was active and full of change. So England was trading, exploring, and becoming more powerful. So this active spirit appears in plays which were full of strong emotions, actions, and conflict. So we were going to, and also we have the rich and decorative style. So writers noon enjoyed using beautiful and flowery language. So they use creative comparisons called conceits to make ideas sound more artistic and impressive. Literature was meant to sound grand and powerful. And also we have the experimentation. So when we say experimentation, writers noon were still discovering what English literature could become. So nagamit sila og mga new forms, kanang mga new themes, and kanang mga new writing styles. So uban sa mga experiment nila is kanang successful while others failed. But this helped literature grow. And also we have the foreign influence. So English writers were inspired by literature from Italy, France, and Spain. So, nakatuon sila og mga new poetic forms and ideas that improved them in their own way. Also, we have the widespread literacy culture. So literature was not only for kings and nobles. So writers came from many social classes, from noble courtiers like Walter Raleigh and Philip Sidney to poor writers living in London. So this shows that literature our became part of everyday life. And also, we were going to discuss as well the prose fiction. So, prose fiction, beginning of English prose fiction. During the Elizabethan period, so English writers started creating a modern style called prose fiction. So many of these stories were translated from Italian and were called novellas or short stories. So these stories were very interesting. So writers like William Shakespeare uses them to make um plays. So, a famous collection of these stories was The Palace of Pleasure by William Paynter, so published in 1566. So, some stories from this book later inspired Shakespeare plays like Romeo and Juliet. So, so dito ang part is nag-publish si William Paynter sa iyang libro nga which is gitawag itong Palace of Pleasure. Palace of Pleasure. Dito sa Palace of Pleasure is murag na dito na inspired si William Shakespeare. Dito na inspired si William Shakespeare. That's why William Shakespeare translated no sa one sa yang translated the one na yang and also we have the John Lely and Epheo Atheism. So the first original English prose fiction was written by John Lely. His famous book, Epheus, The Anatomy of Wit. So when we say euphemism, it is using polite language, but kanang murag na siya harsh, pero ginagamitan nimo siya og polite language. So John Lely wrote the first original English stories with his famous book Epheus, which is The Anatomy of Wit, 1578, which taught about love, religion, and good behavior. So his writing style called euphemism because it was fancy and decorative. and it also using balanced sentences, comparisons, and classical references, and it became very popular in Queen Elizabeth's court. And also we have the Sir Philip Sidney and the Pastoral Romance. So Sir Philip Sidney was a noble courtier and writer. He died in 1586 during the siege of Zutphen. He wrote Arcadia for his sister. So Sir Philip Sidney was a nobleman. So when we say nobleman, it is um kanang in a higher position. So at Queen Elizabeth Court, in 1586, he died while fighting in siege of Zofietan in Netherlands. Before that, during a time he had to stay at home. So he wrote the book Arcadia for his sister, which is the Countess of Brembourg. The book is a pastoral romance which tells a story of love and in a adventure in ideal countryside. So pastoral stories started with Theocritus in ancient Greece, who wrote about real shepherds and their daily life. Later, writers like Philip Sidney used the countryside to tell stories about love, adventure, and feelings of rich people, not just a real farm life. Okay, so we are now down to the Sydney's followers inspired writers like Robert Greene, Thomas Lodge, and Thomas Lodge. Lodge wrote Rosalind, which became the source of As You Like It by William Shakespeare. So after Philip Sidney wrote Arcadia, other writers were inspired by his work. Include Thomas Lodge, which he wrote Rosalind, and later around 1599, William Shakespeare used it as a source for his play As You Like It, which was performed for the audiences in London. And also we have the Robert Greene, another writer of that time, also followed Sidney's styles in his stories and plays. And also we have the picaresque fiction, later in 1515s. So it is a realistic and often humorous stories. It more focused on poor and lower class characteristics. So it came from Spain and inspired by Lazarillo de Tormes by Diego Hurtado de Mendoza. And we are now down to Elizabethan lyric poetry. So the Elizabethan era was a golden age for lyric poetry, reveling its achievements in drama. So lyric poetry was celebrated for direct appeal, delightfulness, and emotional style. So in 1577, Total's Miscellany was published. It was the big collection of English poems, included many love songs by poets like Watt and Surrey. So this book made lyric poetry very popular at Queen Elizabeth I's court and among ordinary people. So people love the poems because they were easy to understand, emotional, and pleasant to read or sing. And also, Edmund Spenser in 1552-1599. So it is a major poet of the Elizabethan age. He was called the poet's poet, and he is born in London, educated at Cambridge, influenced by Puritanism. So Edmund Spenser, 1552 and 1599, he was one of the most important poets during the Queen Elizabeth I's reign. So he calls the poet's poet because other writers admired his skills, and he is born in London, studies at Cambridge University as a poor student. And he learned ideas from Puritan beliefs, which is focused on morality, and Plato's philosophy, which focus on thinking about ideals and perfect forms. So the Shepherd's Calendar in 1579, it is a 12 pastoral poems, one for each month. So The themes are love, religion, morality, praise of Queen Elizabeth I, and also marked by the beginning of great Elizabethan literature. So that the Shepherd's Calendar in 1579 is a collection of 12 poems which representing a month of the year. So the themes include love, religion, morality, and also praising Queen Elizabeth the First. So ang nagashowbod ni siya that English poetry could be an original and beautiful, not just copied from old styles. Okay, so The Fairy Queen in 1590, his masterpiece, um, long allegorical epic. It features moral, virtuous, true knights. Prince Arthur represents magnificence, ideal greatness. So the Fairy Queen, Spencer's most famous work and also the long epic poem. So nagagamit ni siya og knights and adventures to teach moral virtues like courage, um, wholeness, and also temperance. So Prince Arthur represents the ideal hero, showing magnificence, greatness of character. And we are now down in a love poems. So there are three love poems during Elizabethan period. First is we have the Amorete, which sonnets about love, Epithalamium, which sonnets about marriage hymn, and also we have the Protalimium, which is the poem about wedding celebration. And there is also a Spenserian stanza, which the rhyme scheme A B B C, and also it composed of 8 lines in iambic pentameter. Its final line is Alexandrine's longer 6-foot line, and it also unique English stanzas form. So the Spenserian stanzas is a special poetic form, um, which is gi-create siya no ni Edmund Spenser for the Fairy Queen. So naa siya 9 lines. The first 8 lines is nagafollow siya og regular rhythm, which is 10 syllables each, and the last line is longer, which is 12 syllables. So the rhyme pattern is A B C, which connects the lines smoothly. So the longer line, the longer final line makes each stanza feel complete and also kanang complete. So Spenser invented this form to make his poems sound musical, elegant, or more grand. Because of its beauty, many later poets used it in their own works. And also, we are now down in the 14 sonnets. Sonnets. So, by the late 16th century, the sonnet was the most popular lyric form in Europe. Over 3,000 were written. So many were about love, inspired by Francisco Petrarch. They were often written in a long sequence and addressed to an ideal or cruel lady. So by the late 16th century, so the sonnet became popular sa popular type of love sa Europe, but it also more than 3,000 sonnets were written in that period. So during the time of Elizabeth I, many educated men in England admired Italian poetry, especially the works of Petrarch. So they copied his style and wrote love poems to show their talent and education. So writing sonnets became popular in royal courts. So important authors and works of Philip works. First is we have the Philip Sidney, Astropel and Stellas, 1591. It is a first major English sonnet sequence. It talks about ideal platonic love. And also we have Edmund Spenser, which is the Amorete. So the Amorete, it is a love sonnet dedicated to his future wife. William Shakespeare's son William Shakespeare's sonnets. So, some of the William Shakespeare's sonnets is love. It talks about love, beauty, friendship, disappointments. Considered the finest sonnets of the period. I think we are already familiar with the sonnets of William Shakespeare. So, Sir Philip Sidney Astrophil and Stella 1591. So, Sidney loved Lady Penelope de Vereux, but she married another man, so which is ang Lord Rich. Because he could not marry her, he wrote sonnets expressing his ideal and respectful love. So that is why Edmund Spenser wrote the um that is why Philip Sidney wrote the Astrophel and Stella. It is because of the Lady Penelope's the very yokes of because of their ano kana ilahang classes. So and also we have the Edmund Spenser, which he wrote the Amorete. So Spenser wrote this sonnet for Elizabeth Boyle, the woman he truly loved. Unlike many poets, siya lang tumurag na successful na pakaslan ang iyahang minamahal. And also we have William Shakespeare. So William Shakespeare composed of 154 sonnets, 1609. So some sonnets of William Shakespeare were written to a young some sonnets were written to a young nobleman, possibly his iyahang patron, encouraging him to marry and have children. And other sonnets ni William Shakespeare were talk about a mysterious dark lady, which may reflect personal and emotional struggle. So I have also remember one of the sonnets of William Shakespeare, which is the sonnet 18, no, which is William Shakespeare compared his love to a summer. So mo to siya. So and also we are now down to John Donne and the metaphysical poetry. So John Donne was born in 1573 and later became the dean of St. Paul's Cathedral. Combined deep thinking intellect with emotional lyric poetry, and it uses exaggerated comparisons, conceits, and surprising imagery and from science in daily life. So, nag-wrote siya ng regular rag verse forms and iyang themes sa iyang kuan works is love, religion, and human nature. So, influence of classical comedy and tragedy. So, decline of mystery plays and moralities. So, by the mid-16th century, religious and morality plays were losing popularity. Audiences were seeking new forms of drama. So, rise of classical influence. The Renaissance revived interest in Greek and Roman drama. Schools and universities performed plays by Plato's Terence and Seneca the Younger. So by the middle of the 1500s, 15, people were no longer very interested in religious plays like mystery and morality plays. These plays always taught moral lessons about good and evil. Audiences wanted something new and more exciting. And also, we were going to talk about the early English comedies. So first is we have the Ralph Royster Doyster, Nicholas O'Dowd. So Ralph Royster Doyster was one of the first English comedies. It followed the style of Roman writers like Plautus and Terence. The story is about a foolish man who thinks he is a great lover, but he is actually funny and ridiculous. And also we have the Gammer Gorton's Needle. So Gammer Gorton's Needle makes classical structure with real English village life. So the story is about a simple problem, a lost needle, but it is becomes a funny and chaotic situation. And also we have the influence on tragedy. So Seneca's influence. The Romance writer Seneca's influence in early English tragedies. Had his plays had a long moral speech, themes of revenge, ghosts, and strong exaggerated emotions. So and also we have the Gorboduc. Gorboduc in 1562. So Gorboduc by Thomas Norton and Thomas Sackville was the first English tragedy written in classical style. It introduced blank verse, iambic pentameter without rhyme, which later become very important in English drama. So the chronicle history play, a new type of play in the late 15th. It focused on the life of reign of English kings, mixed history with humor and drama. It showed national pride, especially after England defeated the Spanish Armada. So the chronicle history play in the late 1500, a new type of play appeared called the chronicle history play. So these plays told the stories of English kings and important historical events. They make serious scenes like tragedy, funny moments, comedy, and real history. So people were very proud of England, especially after the events like the defeat of Spanish Armada. So these plays become popular. So John Lilly. John Lilly is the first important Elizabethan comedy writer. So he is a comedy writer, famous for Ephesus, The Anatomy of Wit and Court's comedies. He wrote light, elegant plays for Queen Elizabeth courts. So John Lilly, was one of the first important playwrights of Elizabethan period. He became famous for writing a story called Ephesus, which was written in prose, normal writing or normal writing, not in poetry style. So he later wrote funny plays for Queen Elizabeth, which were usually performed by choir boys from the royal chapel. So what his plays were like? So they were light and delicate, meaning not very serious or heavy. So stories came from myths, history, or English folk tales. The plots were simple and the characters were not very detailed. Also, we have the Peel, Green, and Kyde. So these are the early dramatists before the William Shakespeare. So George Peel, more lyrical than dramatic. Robert Greene, known for romantic plots and strong characters. Thomas Kyde, popular for revenge strategies influenced by later tragic drama. Um, tragic drama. Okay, so Christopher Marlowe. So he went to university and became a famous poet and playwright. He influenced Shakespeare a lot. So his works are the Tamburlaine the Great, which talks about exciting story, very imaginative and poetic. So Dr. Faustus, about a man who makes a deal with devil, later inspired by Goethe. The Jew of Malta influenced Shakespeare, The Merchants of Venice. Edward II, one of the first serious history plays in England. Theatrical conditions and theater buildings simple. So, in in Shakespeare time, there were no permanent theaters at first. So plays were performed in inns, open yards, or kanang mga temporary stages. So the first proper theater called the Theatre was built in 1576. Most theaters were open air and circular or octagonal, so with the stage projecting into the audience, allowing the people to see the actors from almost all sides. So scenes use minimal props like a single tree representing a forest and no curtains. So changes were shown through dialogue. Women were not allowed on stage, so boys played female roles. So the focus was on acting and language, where meant writers like William Shakespeare he had to use vivid words, lively action, and imagination to engage the audience. So the Elizabethan stage. The stage was a platform that the audience could the Elizabethan stage. The Elizabethan stage. The stage was a platform that the audience could see from almost all sides. There were no curtains, so scene changes were shown through what actors said. So balconies were used for upper scenes like Juliet's famous balcony. Props were simple, um, for example, one tree could stand for a whole forest because the scenery was basic. The plays focus on acting, dialogue, and storytelling rather than realistic backgrounds. So William Shakespeare. He is the greatest writer of the Elizabethan age. He born in Stratford upon Avon, and he married to Anne Hathaway. Went to London around 1586 to 1588. Actor, playwright, and a shareholder in a theater company. So in his early years, Shakespeare was learning and experimenting his writing. He was influenced by Christopher Marlowe, a famous of playwright during that time. So during the Elizabethan period, he wrote early comedies, chronicle history plays, and poems like Venus and Adonis and the Rape of Lucrece. So Shakespeare's second period. So 1594 to 1601. This was Shakespeare's mature period where his plays became more developed. He wrote history plays like Richard II, Henry the Fourth, and Henry the Fifth, which told stories about English kings. He also wrote comedies such as The Midsummer Night's Dream, The Merchants of Venice, As You Like It, The Twelfth Night, and his famous tragedy, which is the Romeo and Juliet, focus on young love and romance. So showing his skill in writing and also mga exciting stories. And that's all for my part. I hope you have learned from my discussion, and thank you.